I'm still fine. 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 Not fine. Not that. I don't know what it was. I was like almost 2 body lengths under. Yep. But yeah, this beach is a lot steeper. At least for this travel part, because I didn't really bother smoothing this out. Alright, so turn to the left or right of the road so you're actually getting a beach. So be the left flank, to be the right flank. I mean, yeah, but you can't really see it.
Welcome into Squad Ops One Life Events. We're going to continue our campaign today. This is part 2 of Scarlet Storm. I am bcarr. Joining me today is Xbit.
Are these the ham wraps that everyone's talking about?
Yes.
The 6x6.
And we have Shadowed Ritual in as well. He is our producer for today with the multi-stream.
With the cool stuff, the turret.
Giving us a bunch of perspectives here. Going to show how this landing is going to go. This is going to be a fun one. This is our second mission. It's going to revolve around this island for at least the first part, anywho. You guys are going to land on this guy. But before we get into much more detail on the operation, let's go ahead and talk about who's doing what and who's going to lead our teams today. Pony is going to command US, and his squad leaders are going to be Dentrick, Bump, Storm, and Rose Dragon. Dorf will be militia. He's going to have a defending role on the island. Dorf's commanding militia. He'll have Nacho, Lawn Darts, Top Bun, and Sugart. So to explain this particular phase of the campaign, Xbit, who's actually created all of this, probably can explain it a lot more concisely than I can, because I'll just go back and forth about, oh my gosh, it's a landing. But Xbit, go ahead and take it away. Can you tell us what Mission 2A is all about?
Yeah, hopefully I can explain it. I wrote it, but I get confused myself because campaigns are complicated. So Mission 2A, we are the second day. For as far as the timeline goes, as far as the campaign, all the missions are taking place on the same day. So in this one, the U.S. has to capture this island and knock out this radar station so that the rest of their landings are invisible to the militia defending forces. So the U.S. is going to take this island, which we're looking at right now, and they can only land on half of it. They can't land on the other half because it's too close to the enemy beaches. And if they are successful, then they get to land on another beach for round 2. If they're not, for round 2, they get to try again, but the teams will switch. So nothing really, nothing special about this other than you're going to see a whole lot of strikers, a whole lot of guys storming the beaches, and we'll see how the militia deals with all this. Since it's a campaign, we get to do a little cool things with this. And one of them is going to be that the U.S. gets the reinforcement, so that when players die, they get to respawn for a limited amount of time. And then after that time limit's up, then it switches back to the one life event, which you die and you die for the last time and you don't get to respawn anymore. So I believe the U.S. reinforcement is the first 20 minutes of the round. So you're going to see some aggressive play, beach landings, hopefully trying to get a foothold on the beaches. And then after that, if they're within 20 minutes, they get to respawn back at the task force island. And once the strikers come back and pick them up, they can make a second wave or shuttle them back and forth to the beaches. So a lot of movement, and militia does not get to respawn in this one. So they are stuck on the island and they have to hold out to the last man.
Yep, and we've played this sort of circumstance before on a different part of this map. This is Sands of Yanya, which is Pony's creation, or rather our mod team's creation, and I believe Pony is sort of the principal designer of the map and with the layouts and everything. The main battle area for where the landing is going to take place is a beachhead that I think is about 500 meters long. And the beachhead is full of tank traps. It is possible for the strikers to pass these tank traps, but it's complicated because the tank traps seem to be placed pretty much at random. There's probably about, I'd say, between 10 and 15 sort of small paths that I think the strikers would be able to negotiate. However, the shoreline is pretty steep. There seems to be about like I'd probably say it's like a 5 to 10 meter elevation difference between the front of the beach and the top of the beach where the bunkers are. And there's a bunker about maybe every 10 to 20 meters up and down or 10 to 30 meters really up and down the beachhead. And they're octagon shaped bunkers. They've got small portholes in at least 5 of those sides, along with the door in the back. Plenty of built-in fortifications that really can't be effectively destroyed with cannon fire, small arms. So the militia team will definitely have a lot of things going for them with this defense. And on top of that, militia will have the objective in the small wooded portion of the island. So the U.S. forces got to land on a tank trap island and then bust it past a bunch of bunkers over about 30 meters of open terrain, 40 meters of open terrain, and get into a wooded forest where they're going to have to assault a reinforced militia position, complete with heavy machine guns and fortifications. It seems like a tall order, but it's totally doable when you consider that U.S. gets reinforcements this round.
Yeah, totally doable. I think you're going to see infantry trying to secure the beaches while the strikers try to maneuver their way through. But militia, it's a lot of beach to cover, right, for militia. So they can either sit in the bunkers and wait for them and maybe pop out a few lats and have the U.S. take a couple striker hits early, which will limit their ability to transport troops from the island and reinforce. It's any man's game at this point. I mean, it really, depending on how the militia chooses to defend this, it'll work out one way or the other. Also to note, on this landing, the U.S. does not get any kind of naval bombardment or indirect fire support. So it's just mano a mano, rifle on rifle. There's nothing indirect about this at all. So
yeah, if I remember, that was the I don't know if it's a secret objective of last night, but it was the objective of last night of one of the missions that we played out last night on the channel.
Oh yeah, Yeah, the captain
And
yeah.
Yes, the captain was supposed to set up that fob and never made it to the area, and were caught in the net of the militia QRF way too quickly to be effective.
You guys,
Hey, this looks
Oh,
dope.
you want to make a public announcement? No crouching next to vehicles.
I believe we're going to get a militia brief here. U.S. are kind of organized for just about the same thing. So we're going to see if we can pop in and listen to both briefs and see if we can get a glimpse into the plan for militia, the plan for U.S.
But now we must repel them. In order to do so, we got to defend this radar tower. The radar tower is key to getting advanced warning on their beach landings. So the American forces will try to land here and stop it, or take it over, destroy it, so they can get in there clean and unnoticed. Our mission, starting with Sugar Squad. Sugar Squad will be defending the green fob markers up here. He will be responsible for the west and northwest portion of the island. Londart Squad will be here on the red fob markers, spread out as best he can, defending the south end of the island and southwest portion of the island. Top Bun and his merry band will be here on the mortar marks, defending the southeast and east portion. And the lovely Nacho will be doing fob and northern security. He will handling the fob itself as well as the north end, pretty much being a quick reaction force. So whatever side gets hit the hardest, Nacho will go support, as well as whatever squad is not in direct contact at that time. Remember, there's going to be multiple waves. Expect multiple waves. Enemy strikers are very capable. However, they will not be able to stick around very long as they have to go get the next wave of reinforcements. So when the strikers come in, lads, do your best to kill them right where they are. Otherwise, keep your heads down. Don't get schwacked by the 50 cals. We have a pair of our own 50 cals. Hopefully we will be able to utilize. Our beach defenses should hopefully deter them, as well as the bunkers themselves. Utilize your bunkers as best you can. Utilize the tree line. Our fallback location is right here at this bunker in the fob. It's right at the bottom of the stairs. There's a long hallway. On the north end of the island, there is a open airway that people coming in from the top can jump down into. So be wary of that, those who are defending the fob. Other than that, chain of command will be, after myself, will be Shughart, then Londarts, then Nacho, then Top Bun. Are there any questions?
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
So just when you get out of the strikers, stay away from them. Run up the beach, attack the militia. If you get killed, then that's fine, because you can come back. Just don't go into admin after you die. Just respawn right back here. Then after the 10 minutes are up, there will be a broadcast or something from the event admins. And then you'll know after that, you know, don't bother. Just go back into admin cam and watch the show. This should be a nice, quick, clean operation. There's really not too much they can do to stop us. Oh, yeah. Also, there's a tunnel. So if you're attacking, really on the second wave is going to be where this comes into play. A good way to access the radio tower is there's a tunnel marked by the green marker in Golf 8. You can climb down the ladder, and then you can work your way through the tunnels, and you'll end up right in the same room the radio's in. So, just pro tip. However, they may not necessarily want to let you get to the tunnel, so be prepared to meet pretty heavy resistance in the forest. The strikers will not be able to support you because the forest is, like, thicker than, well, thicker than pretty much anything you can imagine. You can't get strikers in there very easily, if at all. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Yep.
Sure, shoot.
I thought the respawn time was 20 minutes. Did they change that?
Well, let me double check.
The op-doc says 20 minutes.
Yep, it's 20 minutes.
Thanks, Hector.
Even better.
It said 10 minutes this morning. Yeah, alright, 20 minutes. That means we have... We're gonna keep doing... We're gonna land... After 10 minutes is up, we're just gonna keep landing more waves then. After the 10 minutes, we're gonna do the 2 waves on each beach of people until either they're all dead or, like, we run out of strikers, because we have 6 strikers and we're only gonna be proceeding at a base with 4, and we'll be replacing losses from our remaining pool here on the island. Alright, cool. We have about 4 minutes until we go live. Oh, Christ. Yes, question.
I have another question.
Okay, I have a, so after the first 20 minutes, then that's it. We can't respawn, correct?
Yeah, after the first 20 minutes, we can't respawn. Up until that point, we can respawn as much as we like, so please feel free to...
Alright, so we got the general gist of their plans. The US are going to try a multiple vector attack onto the island. Meanwhile, militia are going to concentrate their forces to the southern end of the island. You could kind of see it on the map where they've already started placing their forces. They're gonna put a, looks like they're gonna put a squad online, maybe another squad to the very far southeast of the island, and they're gonna have maybe 2 squads online with for the western shore of the island, and 1 squad in reserve. But Pony's plan for a U.S. attack seems pretty smart. Might actually get some traction here because of how they're going to split up and sort of vary their routes onto the island, starting the south, go to the north, and then come back to the middle. The shortest, sort of the longest distance, or the most difficult mission, and then the longest distance mission, and then the shortest distance mission. Which probably makes a lot of sense because, you know, Mill's not going to be able to respawn, for one thing. And the second thing is, by that time, they probably have worn down enough of militia that you'd think militia would be pretty reserved themselves, and they're going to hold a lot of people back for the defense of the radio tower itself. I like the cut of Pony's jib there as far as his plan. It'd be interesting to see how militia can react to it, especially when it starts changing itself around.
Now that's a simple one, that's for sure.
We should have enough. No, we have 4 strikers full. It should be 11 per striker.
Well, if anything, if there's one thing that we've all learned from operations, it's that sometimes the simple plan wins. And it wins more often than more complicated plans.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here. The U.S. has got a lot of assets as far as vehicles, so I think keeping it simple is going to work. That everybody knows that, you know, second wave we're going here, third wave we're going here. Object is here. That's, you know, that's what we're going to do.
And a reminder for our viewers, U.S. is going to be in blue, militia is going to be in red, as far as the outlines on your screen. And I don't think militia have any offensive vehicles. So the only vehicles you're really going to see are the strikers that are going to be moving around. And if you've ever seen the strikers on this map before, they're sort of amphibious vehicles. They're going to be able to move at pretty great speeds, and they're not going to drown in the water. If you've never seen the effect before, it's actually pretty brilliant. Mod team did a great job of, even if the vehicle, I don't know, I guess the vehicle can't technically do it, whatever, it still looks cool. And I think the effect is really well done. Militia are continuing to put themselves around. We had a lifetime of pretty close to about 20 seconds from now, I think. So we should be going live any second now.
Okay. Alright, what am I going?
Yeah, this map, the amphibious business is all Pony. He built this ground up to be like an amphibious landing map. So.
Oh damn it! Shit. Okay. Great.
There we go. We are live for mission 2A of Scarlet Storm.
Jenkins and the other 2 guys.
And here comes the strikers.
Break.
Looks like everyone's in. I wonder how many strikers are moving out. I think it's 3, 4. Yeah, they're moving straight towards the southeastern edge of the island. And they're swinging around. And now we're within 300 meters. These guys are moving really fast. And you can bet militia. And the strikers are within audio range now. There's a lat unit right here. He's going to take a shot. No. The strikers have landed. Oh, and one lat unit overshoots a striker.
It's an RPG on the second bunker. Alpha on me.
Storm Striker's pulling off.
Rose Dragon goes down. Multiple U.S. casualties here. Some U.S. soldiers have made it. There seems to be about 12 of them still on the beach.
Yeah, it looked like the militia had maybe a light force there in the bunkers just to deter any kind of unopposed U.S. aggression on the beaches, but US has got a foothold now.
Militia doing a really good job of holding these bunkers. The foothold for U.S. is still pretty strong, though. Some of them have actually made it into the forest. I think one saw gunner just killed like 4 people. U.S. have actually made a considerable push into the forest here. They made it about 50 meters inside the tree line.
7:31 is when we leave, so until 7:31 we wait at the island, we gather troops.
And it looks like Digit and Sessa are the furthest inland people here for U.S. Digit a breacher kit.
The rest of the militia forces are holding firm on their beaches. They're not persuaded that this is the main U.S. landing here.
Copy.
You got red smoke over.
Another wave will be coming in soon.
Yeah, there's not really any reinforcements being sent to the southern beachhead by militia.
No, listen to the command comms. Yeah, it sounds like Pony's waiting to do another wave with the second wave of reinforcements. Which he doesn't see the whole picture like we do, but that's a pretty smart move because militia is not moving off those beaches, which he intends to land at next.
Just find a good spot to hold.
Definitely is going to give militia a chance to do some damage, but at the same time, that's plenty of targets for U.S. to try to take down as they make their way inland. So the first wave for U.S. is pretty much done. I'd like to think there's about 10 U.S. soldiers still up here in the forest that have now moved into the forest, and there's pretty light militia resistance here in the southern forest.
Yeah, make sure those strikers get the rears the most out of the water possible. Our landing. Okay, that's my fault. Sorry about that. No, it wasn't you. It was Pony Striker. So. Pony, we have 2 full strikers ready to go.
1 second waving to the left side of the island.
U.S. just slowly pushing up. there's one force on the east side of the island. They're pushing from bunker to bunker using the tree line to move with concealment. And then there's some stragglers that seem to be trying to assault the central part of the island.
Zacchaeus.
Hey, Zaki, hold up. Hey, we're in the bunker where Zaki is, and then spread out on the tree line further southwest. I want Zaki and
I think Digit, Sessa, the rest of his fire team here, they want to try to get to the north side of the island to
Command,
put a sort of
contact,
run on the back.
We lost all those troops.
Roger.
Eyes in contact southeast, about 75 meters.
Strikers are standing by for now.
Yep. Oh. Digit goes down, but Digit and Sessa able to take down a couple of QRF for militia.
Yeah, there's guys in the tree line south of me, about 75 meters.
And with Beware in support.
Just hold right here. We're not trying to push these guys out, or not push these.
Alright, they're gonna be hitting the pier here pretty soon then.
They go down right here. Alright, George, let's push back.
And the second wave of reinforcements en route.
Still benefiting? Hold on.
Copy. Alright, I'll stick around to cover you. First, you strikers just drop your guys and beat the RTT. Same as before.
The U.S. forces consolidating towards the east side of the island, or the west side of the island now. I know it's the east side of the island. I'm bad with directions right now. I think a striker got hit. There's one striker exfilling that's been hit. And additional landing still happening. Militia definitely ready for them here at this north side of the beachhead.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the U.S. would get a good run at them, but the militia are dug in, and it's like 50%, maybe even 80% casualties on these beach landings.
I think they should commit a striker now. Rose Dragon's got a squad trying to bound from bunker to bunker. They want to start clearing to get around to the east side of the island.
You're almost out of there, one.
Oh no, I'm bleeding.
Moving in bunker.
Do you want us to send this next wave of strikers?
I'm behind yours.
Yeah, so it looks like from the second landing there's only 4 survivors.
Oh, that's enough. Yeah, dump the next wave right in the middle now. We're just gonna go to just fucking dump as many as you can.
I think it's about 2 squads to land here. 2 squads plus. Pretty high attrition rate. Not as good as the first landing. And I think you could chalk that up to just the sheer number of militia that were ready to go. That were in position.
Yeah, I'm still up with you guys. Let's keep pushing directly east. Goal is to the east. Go. Come on.
I'm with you.
Rose might get shot here. Rose definitely got shot there. Militia backed up off the beach and they put some people prone in the forest. Pretty smart move.
US is making their middle landing now.
What do you ammo wise?
Looks like 2 squads. Ooh, that frag rocket got 2 on the backside of that bunker. Wow, what a shot. Seems to be about a squad and a half still in the middle part of the beach here on the west side. U.S. almost have a real secure beachhead here. There's not really a lot of militia to contest this. There seems to be like 1, maybe 2 people looking at this part of the beach. All the other militia in the north have fallen back, but they've fallen back to chase the element that made it inland.
What should we do?
We'll stay right here again.
Yeah, one where you are right now is a good spot.
And speaking of people that made it inland, U.S. force starting to move on the radio tower.
You guys have contact?
Although there's a buddy team in the back that's gotten caught by the northern militia QRF that are retreating back, trying to give chase. Oh, Silas has made it in the tunnel.
Yeah, US is making really good progress here onto the radar station. They've gotten through the secret entrance down below, and they're working the hallways right now.
They're actually really close to the objective. There's nobody watching the radio.
Get over here and get set up.
Militia have completely abandoned it. There's only people above them.
Set up on the sandbags.
And someone's coming down now.
Stay back in the hallway.
Oh! He saw them downstairs and ran back up. Who is this? This is Dorf. Dorf comes back with a peek. Here comes a grenade, though. Oh, what a great place.
They're taking the fog.
We're back in the radio, my guys. Get back in the radio.
Hey, get back in the radio.
Dorf able to take Amos down. Now he's getting some reinforcements. This MG. Wow. It looks like the guy who was taking the radio was able to trade with the MG, but the radio's not technically down. It's almost down. Look at it. It's been dug down to the last stage.
Yep.
And now it's getting built back up.
Militia's in full retreat back to the radar place here. It's very little U.S. left on the island. I guess they're waiting for the next wave to land now.
That was a great effort there. The radio was getting dug down by U.S., but after that happened, there's so many militia around it that it started regenerating durability. I think there's one U.S. soldier still around the radar, and that's Digit. And he gets shot up. And there's a striker now getting ready to enter the forest. It's definitely able to pass, but he's got to be careful. And the U.S. now pushed into the central part of the island. Looks like an additional striker. 2 more squads for U.S. have just landed.
Oh, yeah, there's only 10 militia left, so this is the last holdouts we see.
With the U.S. being comfortable enough to put the strikers into the forest, it's definitely a bad sign for militia. and I think militia are holding the underground a lot more.
From down the hallway.
Okay, I'll do end of the hallway because I have a marksman rifle. George, go cover from the sandbags.
There's only realistically one way in here.
Stand by the sandbags.
Reloading. You might want to do your other squad.
Definitely pretty hectic, but U.S. making some progress here.
Yeah, this last push isn't going to be easy for them, though. There's only one doorway into that radar station, and of course the tunnel entrance. So 2 fatal funnels for U.S. to finish out the mission here.
Looking at 26 kills right now for U.S., 74 kills for militia. Definitely wouldn't have been possible with the 1 life, but since U.S. have plenty of reinforcements for this assault, U.S. valuing this particular radar station above everything else in their expedition here. U.S. have a position to cover the stair entrance into where the radio is pretty well. And U.S. are closing around the entire area.
Yeah, and I think U.S. is almost close to ending their reinforcement, so I think the last wave is going to be coming here soon.
Yep, Silas leading a fire team around the backside of the drop down, the tunnel, and Shughart building in the wrong direction. They're going to get shot in the back here pretty soon, I think. Silas definitely wants to use this drop down to get in the tunnel system. Although there's plenty of militia in the tunnel system ready for this particular approach. These two not really prepared for it. And there we go. Or let's see. Silas resecures the tunnel drop down.
Alright, I'm going in.
Go, Dark, follow.
Friendly.
Alright, jump down. On my head.
And there seems to... I think we're... Oh, U.S. have gotten down to the radio. There's only 2 militia left.
So only 1 or 2 left now.
Only 1 left now. Oh, no. Wait. I think we're over. I think it's over.
Can I get a heal medic?
U.S. have overwhelmed militia, and they have the radio taken down.
I got you, medic here.
81 kills for militia, 34 kills for U.S. The fact that the round hasn't ended means, I guess there's militia still alive somewhere.
Everyone please proceed topside and guard the area. Set up a defense perimeter.
Either that or there's another tricky mission thing. Oh, there's the good game.
Oh, there's the good game. So that was Mission 2A with a U.S. successful invasion and destruction of the radio tower here. They'll have another mission that they'll start very shortly.
Yep, it'll be 2C. The teams are going to roll. And now the militia team gets to land on the beaches, and the U.S. team will have to defend the beaches. So...
Definitely a role reversal for these two sides. Conventional team defending and a unconventional team attacking. That'll be fun.
90, what the fuck?
Or wait, no, militia's holding. Yeah, militia's defending U.S.
Yeah, I was
anyway.
just saying that the commanders get to switch, so the teams get to switch, so the other guys get to experience landing on the bitches and
that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing that's unconventional with campaigns. But anyway, that's something we've all had to try to deal with today. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Mission 2 Charlie here at Squad Ops.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today, Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we are suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of this is to keep the enemy's head down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. During this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically, whether it be with buddy teams or fire teams. The whole intent is to ensure there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, bound. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. All right, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when on patrol or when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. And these are a few of the basic formations that we use during squad ops. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The light anti-tank gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for Squad Ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within Squad.
Welcome back to Squad Ops One Live Events. We're still in Scarlet Storm campaign. Right now we're playing Mission 2 Charlie. These campaigns are nice and complex, and they have different outcomes and different missions based on those outcomes. And today, since US was able to take the island in Mission 2 Alpha, we're playing Mission 2 Charlie. This is called Chicago Beach, and there's a multiple beach landing scenario that the U.S. forces have been planning, and they're going to take one. And there was a question that I wanted to address before we go into more specifics about this particular operation. The reason why someone asked if the reason why you could see the outlines, and because it makes them a lot easier to see for one thing, but players don't see those. We see those because we're in the admin cam, we're spectating, we're looking at what everyone's doing. The problem sometimes when you leave a vehicle, join a vehicle, it kind of resets the outline. So you might have, if you saw one of our free cams miss players like that, or you see a player running around without that outline, it's probably the reason why. We try to cycle it through as best we can to make sure we catch everyone, because we want everyone to be seen. So we're trying to give you a pretty good idea of what's going on here. You're currently looking at the Chicago Beach, the codename Chicago Beach. Militia are setting up a defense here. Lots of logistic supplies. It's going to be a doozy. For more details on what this is all about, Xbit, can you let us in on what specifics we can expect to see for this particular mission?
Sure. So this is Mission 2C. The U.S. has cleared off the island with the radar stations, so now all the landings on the different beaches can take place. And for this one, the U.S. is tasked with landing and holding Beach Chicago, which is the furthest western beach there is. And there's a few little twists in this one, in that not only like we saw in round one, but in round two, the U.S. gets a reinforcement landing phase so that they can go pick up the guys from the task force and bring them back to the beaches. And the militia for the first 10 minutes get beach reinforcement, so they're able to withstand the initial naval barrage, which we'll see once we go live, and they can come right back to the beaches. And then they also get a counter-attack phase for militia, which they respawn back at their main, and they can come and re-attack the beaches once the U.S. has got a foothold. So the couple twists on that. The thing for the U.S. objective is to take the fob on the beach. Once that happens, all militia reinforcement ends, and militia has to commit to retaking the beach. So we'll see a couple new things, which is the naval bombardment is going to be provided by a small little fob on the island, but one of the mortars is going to be a 107 millimeter mortar, which has an incredibly large destructive radius to it. I think it's either 40 or 45 meters, and coupled with a couple normal mortars for the initial barrage. So for the first 10 minutes, the U.S. gets to do it like a naval barrage on the beach before they land, so soften up those defenses, because as bcarr was pointing out, they got a whole lot of logistic trucks over there as far as the beach defenses go. So they're going to basically make a fort on the beach that the U.S. has to crush.
That's nuts. 107 mil mortar. That's a big boy right there. I can't wait to see what kind of explosions that's going to cause. And this particular beach has a lot of platforms on it as well. It's almost like the western side of the island with the radio tower. There's a little bit more variety what we have here. There's a HESCO bunker that's covered up, camouflaged. You have a standard like 2-port bunker that faces out towards the shoreline, and then there are these raised kind of platforms in the back that has basically like a HESCO bunker like outpost area, but they have a couple of raised watchtowers as well as the front-facing bunker, HESCO bunker, which gives the infantry inside quite a clear view of the entire beachhead, really. You get a lifetime of a little while to go. There's a little bit of setup. that has to be done. And of course, it hasn't really been that long since the previous round. Everyone's got to get a little bit of reset here. We're seeing some defenses go down for militia, SPG, or it's not an SPG. I guess it is. Yeah, an SPG. I don't know. It's a dumb hang up of mine. I think of SPG, I think of self-propelled gun, and not whatever the SPG actually stands for to mean for this. Self-propelled grenade, I guess. I don't know. I'm dumb. Militia have spawned in. And looks like they're going to commit a couple squads to the beach itself, and they're going to put a squad up here on the rocks. These rocks sort of separate the several beachheads that are all along this shoreline here of Yanya. And they are going to provide this particular rock face on the west side of the beach provides elevation and cover and concealment to the forces that are going to roll up on it from the seaside.
Yeah, I have my other fire team back at the island right now.
Okay, what do you have them spawn?
Let's take a look at the map just to see where we are at. You can see here in Fox 8, that's the indirect fire base. That's where the U.S. are going to coordinate the naval bombardment from. The U.S. are going to come in from the far south with the task force. The U.S. are going to come in here far south than the task force. The task force is around here in Echo 11. That's their staging area. The naval bombardment of observation post is here in Fox 8, 9. Sugart's in charge of that. And Chicago Beach is here in Delta 6. Delta 6-1 is the main beachhead. And U.S. forces are going to come from the south and the north. This is the FOB radio back in that large outpost sort of looking structure. That is where the radio is for this particular FOB, or for this particular beach, rather. And you can see here, there's 3 squads committed to the beachhead itself, 1 to the western rocks. And there's still some organization of the resources being done here.
Yep. Bunch of ants all over the beach building stuff.
Yeah, red ants. Doing their thing. Building the stuff. You can see several indirect fire shelters have been created. Probably smart. Obviously smart. The position of some of them are interesting. Interesting in a bad way. I guess they're going to be cool if there's a bunch of people running around the back of the line, but I don't foresee that being a thing.
Well, I think a few of these squad leaders have already tested and played with the 107mm mortar, and they know that the lethality radius of that mortar is pretty big. So they may be trying to flip their their indirect fire shelters a little ways so that they don't get the certain angle of blasts. Maybe only like half their guys die if they're in there.
We're seeing some fortifications being erected on the beachfront. Barbed wire wall. Maybe a little futile. If you've never played with mortars in this game against small fortifications like this, you know that these things won't last long. Militia are getting their preparation construction phase.
Yeah, Max asked in chat, are the mortars going to reach? Yeah, they'll reach. The U.S. has set up like a naval indirect fire base on the island that's about 900 meters away. So they will reach, and we'll get to see lots of explosions.
Now they're adding sandbags in a second lane. This is kind of smart. They're going to make themselves a second lane sort of behind the embankment here. Or I guess a reinforced embankment. So that they can maneuver between the indirect fire shelters and the static emplacement or static bunkers here.
This mortar right here.
So militia seem to have pretty good grip on it now that the fortifications and all of the logistics are being brought to bear.
You'll take the second bunker.
Makes a lot of sense.
So mortar 1 is going to be
hold up on near the IED mark.
Getting word that U.S. might be doing a platoon brief with the main assault force.
Striker driver.
And we're going to go ahead and take a listen to this.
Heavy anti-tank capability. So I really heavily suggest utilizing smoke cover every possible opportunity you get. So once you hit the deep smoke, we'll have the Navy or the Naval IDF drop smoke rounds for you guys as well. I'll be coming first wave with you, so don't worry. Remember, once you die, if you die, respawn here, give up immediately, respawn back on the island, wait for follow-on waves. Strikers, once, striker, drivers, gunners, whatever, once you guys are dropping troops, keep suppressing targets, but come back and pick up the next wave. Come back, wait for the next wave. And then do the same thing. Chain of command is same as last round. Myself, Shokart, Londarts, Nacho. Are there any questions?
I have one.
Give me 1 second, sorry. Oh, sorry. We must take out the enemy fob. That is our actual primary objective. So we'll locate, take out their fob. It'll be roughly Delta 6-7. Expect the fob in Delta 6-7. So essentially our primary mission is to ensure a foothold on the island. Hab mark. That is our objective, the hab mark. Now any questions, sorry.
You should have 2 landing points. Where's the third and half of a 4th squad going?
Top Buns, sorry, you're right. Top Bun squad will be landing on the mortar mark. Right smack dab in the middle. Smack dab, Top Bun and your team, Peach.
Yep.
Damn it.
Respawn rules?
Question.
Go ahead.
Do we need a crewman
To operate the striker, you need a crewman.
to operate the strikers, or are we
Yes.
okay with that?
That's what I wanted to ask. Top on if you don't need a crewman.
Yep, so crewmen operate the striker. If you die, you don't have
Copy that.
to respawn as a vehicle crewman. It'll be whatever your squad leader wants or needs at that moment. Are you fucking kidding me?
Did you go over the respawn rules?
Yes, respawn essentially is... I can read it for verbatim if you want.
Just so that they know not to go into admin cam.
Yep. So,
Let me know when your comms are clear.
verbatim landing reinforcements. U.S. gets the ability to respawn after dying. When a U.S. player dies, they must give up and then spawn on Task Force Island, which is where we are right now, and wait for orders. No one should be going into admin cam during reinforcement phase. Time limit to reinforcement is 30 minutes after live, so that gives us 10 minutes longer than they had last round. And they... Sorry, they hit their reinforcement right at the conclusion of last round, is right when they stopped having reinforcements.
So, the militia gets reinforcements too, though, right?
Correct. Well, there are
Riff rallies.
There are enemy reinforcements that are located close to the beaches that will come support when needed.
Their time limit's 10 minutes, right?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I mean, that's what it does on the dock, but I don't know if that was changed or...
I will find out. There's a lot of sneaky things that happen in these campaigns. Who knows? I also wanna say one last thing before we break you guys out. I'm proud as a former member of the 34th Infantry Division to be leading a bunch of you Red Bulls out there in this glorious charge. Glorious
What's
landing.
going on?
So, good luck, boys. Have fun.
Hoorah.
Get ready. Sorry, Shug, I'm ready.
Okay, so that was the U.S. brief. Not terribly complicated. I'm assuming it's just going to be a. They just want to sort of time everything, all right? It's probably the main challenge they're going to have to overcome here. They got to challenge everything. They got to time everything right so that the U.S. can get a strong foothold on the beach. Because these mortars, they're going to be pretty rough. And the bombardment itself is going to be insane. But this mission has a little bit more specifics regarding the reinforcements. Xbit, can you explain to us how the reinforcement is going to work for militia this time around?
Yeah, sure.
Last round they didn't get any.
Right. So the U.S. gets their standard landing reinforcement for, I believe it's 30 minutes this time instead of 20 minutes. And that's from our live call. And militia gets two different types of reinforcement. For the first 10 minutes, they get the beach reinforcement, which is they get, if you look at the map, you'll see rally is placed in the forest. So they get to spawn there until the rally is exhausted for the first 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, they can no longer use those rallies. And that's to hopefully allow them to reinforce the beach quickly after the bombardment. And then after that, militia gets the counter-attack reinforcement, which their troops that die within the first 20 minutes of the round get to respawn at militia main. And from there, they can gather into trucks and they leave and they can go counterattack the beach. The key here is that if the U.S. is able to take out the militia fob on the beach before any of those times, all militia reinforcement ends and anybody who's respawned has to immediately head to the beach. So if they are able to take out that fob within the first 10 minutes, militia does not get to counterattack.
Yeah, that second reinforcement wave, that's a long way. I mean,
right,
just trying to eyeball it, looks like a 2.5 kilometers.
Yeah, they'll get some transport trucks, but even then it'll be a good 5 minutes, 8 minutes before they get to the beach to counterattack. So hopefully by then the U.S. has put a foothold and still searching for that fob so that the militia can come flank them from a different angle on the beach maybe.
Yeah, especially the way these roads are. The road just takes them out of their way. They're going to have to cut across, which means they'll be going slower for a little bit. But when they get back on the road, getting back up to max speed, it'll still take them, probably.
Yeah, well, and you got to think none of these players are familiar with this map since this is probably only the second time we've used this map in operation. So everything's kind of new to players that weren't in our first amphibious operation a few months back.
Got a better idea of what militia's defense is going to be here, or is going to be like here. We're about to go live, actually. So let's see. We're going to take a look at the map and see what the disposition of the invading force is going to be like. We get a live call from our admin. Oh, and the bombardment begins right away. And that sounds like a volley. Here comes the volley. Oh! I'm going to say 2 KIA from that strike. 3, 4. This is insane. So the SPG is gone. There was a tripod Dishka on the east flank. That's gone. All the bunker, all the sandbags that were placed out in front of that Dishka tripod on the east flank, that's gone. Looking at maybe 4 or 5 KIA here for militia.
Oh, and US is landing. They are here.
Oh, yep. Pretty decent timing. Oh my. Some great hits here. And mortars now coming back in. So far, not catching anyone. Ooh. That one definitely caught one. Dorf's made it on the beach. US have actually made it up on the rock on the west side. A whole squad.
Drone frag.
They're throwing grenades over the top ridge line here of this rock. There's not really that many militia behind it. It's kind of insane. It's like Point du Hoc. They're going up the mountain.
Yeah, we got hit pretty hard.
And then they got to come back down it again. And then they have to clear a bunch of bunkers, so I don't know if this is going to be great for them. Dishka now taking some pot shots at him from across the beach.
Hot smoke.
Oh. I'm at a specific pop mine back there for you guys.
Just trying to beat anyone that comes up above the ridge line.
Alright, Chuck, hit the bunkers again.
Militia reinforcements trickling in from the trees.
Yep.
And I believe
Right here in front of us as well.
smoke mortars now. And U.S. command calling for more smoke and then HE to follow.
It could be devastating if they catch that militia outside of the bunkers on the HE.
Yeah, especially the ones that are trying to reinforce. Although plenty of militia cozy in bunkers right now. I think they have their eyes on this eastern U.S. force trying to get up in the hills here. Smoke mortars. Now they're more effective for the western U.S. forces, not the eastern ones. No, it's spreading now, so maybe. Oh, some U.S. forces in the east made it up on top of the hill. The Dishka is now turning their attention to the west as the Striker deposits more troops on the hill. Striker just spraying to try to get something done, some sort of suppression.
That SPG emplacement the militia's got keeps taking pot shots at the strikers as they run up. Eventually he's going to get one.
That's actually amazing that thing's still alive because it got popped down. Looks like the mortars now switched to HE. I guess one guy died inside the indirect bunker here. US still not got a great foothold here. 30 kills for U.S. at this point, 15 kills for militia. Here comes another striker. Uh-oh. This time around, most of that squad makes it out. And the militia, ooh. U.S. are trying to get all the way around here. They want to try to clear out the entire west side. So maybe 5 U.S., oh, less than that, are still on this rock. Maybe about 15 U.S. are spread out on the beach. They haven't really made any progress. Bag of Joe runs up through the smoke. He's going to make it to the first set of tank traps. Bag of Joe on a roll. Continuing to run. He's made it to a bunker. The commander inside sees him. He's a breacher too. He's going to put a breacher charge down. The breacher charge goes down. He's getting shot at from an opposite angle. He tries to climb an obstacle, but nothing. The bolters are still inside. Bump, Dash, Kahuna, Dark Milkshake. They're gonna get popped. Bump gets out of this bunker. Oh no! They get out of the bunker just enough range. Looks like Kahuna died. Nope, that wasn't Kahuna. It was someone else. I guess it was Dashby. Wow, that could have been completely different. That was an amazing run by Bag of Joe. So we did flip teams from last round. Dorf is in command of U.S. He's got Sugart, Nacho, Lawn Darts, and Top Bun. And Pony is in charge of militia this round. He's got Storm, Bump, Dentric, and Rose Dragon. So we flipped from last round.
Alright, no one's inside of us.
Nacho gets pinged by several rifles in the Dishka as he looks over the top. Wow, what a grenade throw. Oh, the militia have actually pushed up on this rock. Imanaz goes down. The militia have recontrolled, have now sort of gotten control of the western rocks. There's still a fire team of U.S. that have pushed all the way back through to the backside of the rocks here.
They're running through the bunker.
Assault gets pinged by a squad lead over here. Best Pony, the commander. Atomic Peach goes down, gets shot from the side from Best Pony.
Yep, U.S.'s second wave is coming in now, it looks like.
You ready, boys?
I don't think there's any U.S. remaining on the beachhead.
Third time's the charm, I guess.
Hit the western part of the beach too. That's the only one that's effective.
Deuce.
Here comes their landing.
It's downer, boys.
Dishka opening up. Here we go. Uh-oh, the striker got stuck on the... Almost got stuck on the tank trap there. And now U.S. pushing back towards Best Pony, who is on these rocks over here in the west. Maybe about maybe a handful of U.S. troops still on the oh. Is that a TK?
push him, push him.
Fucking hell.
You dead?
Just move up. I don't know. I think I hit him. Oh,
Chickens just falls over. There's only about, I guess it's only like 5 US left here. This is actually kind of funny now.
That's crazy, right?
They run out of, I guess US ran out of their bombardment.
Yeah, the naval IDF has shifted to another beach, so they don't have it anymore. Militia is also in the same pickle where they can't just reinforce the beach quickly, as they have to actually come back from militia main.
That means a little bit more of a chance of a delay, but US have got to get some kills in the meantime. Look at it, 42 for US. That's a slowdown from what they had before. 39 kills for militia. So militia have got to be feeling it. They must be burning through a lot of ammo too. I imagine some of these players, if they've survived the whole round, they probably don't have a lot left of the tank that they've been just shooting randomly and wildly.
Yeah. This this militia force does not have the ammo to sustain a defense here, so yeah, maybe that's the US's play.
Oh, there's a mass retreat. An entire squad plus maybe 2 squads now. They've abandoned.
Sorry, 2 more. 2 fresh strikers.
They've abandoned the front line bunkers.
Can we still respond?
Yes.
There's a lot of smoke that's been thrown here, and considerable militia forces have retreated back to the forest line here, the tree line. A couple of them come back up to the front bunker, but I guess they're waiting for. I guess they're waiting for US to make their next push. But why? Why would they give up? Why would they give up the advantage like that? Unless they.
I don't know. We're not the only ones who are asking that question.
I mean, unless they think like the mortars are coming back or something. But I mean, I wonder what it is that they're. There's only 2 players. There's only 2 players from militia now forward enough to say they're defending the beach.
The west side of the beach.
Oh, militia are Oh, okay. So one militia squad seems to be repositioning themselves to cut people off as they come off the rocks. But I think what we suspect is probably happening. They're probably really low on ammo, and the militia can't rearm. Unlike the U.S., who can rearm from their strikers. It's unfortunate. It hasn't been that long since the reinforcement timer has gone up for militia here. And U.S. forces now pushing bunkers. Bank of Joe and Escobar here. They're going to start clearing bunkers as they go across the road, go across the beachhead here. There is, who is this? Dark Milkshake, pretty close. Wanders out of his IDF foot bunker and gets destroyed. Now this is weird. There's a squad that's moved. Ooh, look at this. There's a squad that's moved in the west. There's a building that has elevation. Oh, they were over there, and then they've come back down. I guess they were looking for roof access, and they wanted to get a higher position on the entire beachhead.
I thought we were just setting the tree line.
So, set up as cover. Bravo, you're going to be assaulting the tree.
Oh god.
Doug, assaulting tree line is not wise when you know they're at the hangar.
I think they took some contact. They were able to get over there, but they took some contact, and now the militia are falling back again. So surprise, definitely lost.
Guys, just hold to the last. Hold to the last.
Looks like a squad plus has secured the western rocks.
On the west side. Heavy contact west.
Contact corner of the fire base.
But there's a handful of folks on the bunkers.
Okay, you two take that side, we'll take this side. Just sweep up the hangar, we gotta move pretty quick.
Alright.
The U.S. force on the west sends a fire team. Atomic Peach is in charge of it. They're gonna clear the hangar over here. They definitely know there's militia north of this position. And they're really not that far away. Bump is over here with a fire team. Silas also, and Hispanic Mojitos and Mac.
I'm gonna go in the roof.
They're still chasing the over there in the west, but now strikers have made it on the beach. They haven't yet crossed the second tank trap line, but one striker over here made it up to the second tank trap line. Infantry now pushing the back outpost, and militia are surrounding it in the tree line. Probably the best guerrilla defense they have, aside from just sitting in the compound and hoping they don't have grenades.
Yeah, the radio's right here.
It's a great bit of cover here. Improvised cover, the destroyed Logi truck.
Yeah, those tank tracks are indestructible, so they're gonna have to find a path between them to get up to the beaches here. It's a bit of a maze, but there's ways to get up there.
Looks like the striker decides he wants to leave. Maybe he got hit. I'm just gonna go back and rearmor, pick up some more U.S. soldiers here. Atomic Peach on the west. Oh, the squad is getting shot in the back. Whoa, this is weird. Bump's team swung back around and jumped the wall. And now, I'm not sure. I think this is Shigard's squad. Shigard got hit. He has an advantage. Wow, that was a smart move by Bump there. I guess the U.S. forces are stuck here. They're taking some casualties too. But militia continuing to maneuver with a little bit of hit and run strategy over here in the west.
We get the contact north.
U.S. forces now pushed all the way up to the outpost on the beach. A striker is trying to get through the tank traps here. Will it figure out the way? Yes. So the first striker is now broken through the double layers of tank traps, and it's adding some fire here. Along with Frederick, who's taken over the Dishka. Tripod Dishkas can rotate 360, so I guarantee you he's gotten some kills with this thing.
Kill that SKS.
Storm is in there, and he got hit. Top Bun and Dorf are trying to get inside this compound. So Storm back into fighting mode here. He's reloading his SKS as Top One and Dorf are looking for him to try to peek this back again.
One, I have a feeling the majority of your contact.
I think the radio got hit a little bit.
Hold on here. Copy that.
The militia need to reinforce this position, but I'm not sure they can anymore. If this radio goes down, that's it.
Yep, as soon as they lose this radio, then the U.S. has successfully stormed the beaches, it looks like. The heck, the Michelin Command is not going to reinforce. They're going to save it for the other landings today, I guess.
Hit by bleed.
Well,
We're gonna push north.
I mean, it is the U.S. Army after all.
I want to say Charlie 5-8, and then
A ragtag group of fighters like Mill.
No, negative. That's too far north. Just
gonna have some problems against the conventional force. Storm goes down to the main bunker, and the radio is gonna start ticking away because of proximity.
They're in the tree line just north of me.
Because there's no militia nearby to help sustain it, it's gonna start losing durability. Just based on the fact that it's lost upkeep. Multiple strikers have now passed the second striker, or the second tank line now. Tank trap line, I mean. And there's a U.S. push that's kind of got up here to the mountains. Bag of Joe continues to push through the forest here. He wants to look for some more militia, and there's a fire team pretty close to him. Let's get a look at some disposition of forces here. It's kind of hard to tell right now, but there's a squad, a remnants of a squad 1, and that Shughart is now north of all the remaining defending militia forces. Bag of Joe gets dropped by Lex Ryan, who's in charge of the remainder of a squad for militia, just north of the outpost. And the U.S. force looks like they just had a squad drop off of reinforcements. And let's see if there's any reinforcements coming from Militia Main.
Nope.
Nothing in range yet.
Nope, I don't think Command's going to use it.
I guess it's not worth.
Yeah, reading over the dock. Apparently they don't get them for Chicago Beach.
Oh, wow. Well, if that's the case, then it's going to be pretty hard for them to figure stuff out. 70 kills for Ari now, 66 for Militia. So Militia holding their own, but not being able to provide the level of reinforcement that U.S. was able to put in makes it a little bit difficult. The radio going down from Jenkins, and it's gone. So the beach defenses have been compromised, and now it's just down to... Oh, no, never mind.
Damn it, dude. Oh, what?
They're all gone. That was GG. U.S. have taken Chicago Beach.
I guess my
Ooh, that was kind of crazy. I love the beach landings on stuff like this, especially this new map that a lot of people really haven't seen before. I think it's super cool. And the thing that always gets me is the strikers and their utility for this particular fight. Any last thoughts, Xbit, before we talk to our commanders?
No, that was intense. As far as the missions go, it looks like that turned out pretty well. I hope the guys enjoyed themselves. I know that tonight for our second session, it'll be more beach landings, more firepower, more respawns, hopefully more explosions, and more fun to be had. So if you guys enjoyed what you're watching, make sure to come back later and watch the second session tonight.
Yep, and say a prayer for me because I'll be running that session tonight. So that sounds like it'll be fun. I think XF will be on commentary for tonight. I think that's the plan, anywho. But before we leave, let's talk to our commands. We got Dorfin Pony in the channel. Hey guys, what do you think of that? That was pretty crazy. The beach landings always get me. Just real quick, what are your initial thoughts on just the beach landings that have gone today?
I'll start.
I didn't see any of the actual beach landings the first round, or first go, but the second round it was a lot of fun, very chaotic, and it was just kind of crazy to just watch those tracers come in right over my head, just barely missing me as I landed.
Yeah, Pony. Yeah, Pony. Yeah, round one was you had a pretty good plan for trying to spread out where you were going to put your forces, and I think that plan it worked pretty well to sort of discombobulate how Militia's defense was for round one. What was your inspiration for that, or what was your reasoning behind spreading everyone out? Was it just a limited sort of landing space you had, or just trying to throw them off their game? Can you explain that?
It was definitely that I wanted to throw them off. I knew if I started just conducting landings at 3 different locations and just kept funneling people in different places, that eventually the militia would, overextend somewhere and they'd suffer a break in their line. Which is, it seems like more what happened was that we just overwhelmed them with sheer force of numbers. Because after I dumped 90 guys on the beach, the 34 trying to fight them off are only going to last for so long. But I'd say it worked overall.
I will say, I will say that your initial plan, I accounted for that, but you're correct. The sheer force of numbers is what really whittled us down.
Well, clearly you're not supposed to mess with the U.S. Army as a communist insurgency. So those were our commanders for the day, Dorf and Pony. So thanks, guys, for coming out and putting your time in to help us get this event done for our players, for the player base. Appreciate it. And also thanks to Xbit, co-commentator for today. He is also the mastermind behind all of this. And I appreciate it. And I hope we have some more craziness in time, because I haven't seen the rest of what the campaign has in store. But I've seen a little bit, and I'm expecting good things. And one last time for all of us here at Squad Ops, if you want to, come out and participate, squadops.gg is the website where you need to go to sign up for everything. You're watching this on Twitch or YouTube. Please hit the follow and subscribe button for us, or the subscribe button, so you can get notifications on when this stream goes live again, because it will go live again at least 3 more times over this holiday weekend for the Labor Day weekend. Tonight we have part 3. Tomorrow at our session 1 time, that's moved a little bit earlier. We have a part 4 and then part 5 that same time again on Monday. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you later this afternoon.